On a quiet summer day, August 27th, 1906, a child named Ed Gein came into the world in La Crosse, Wisconsin. But from the very beginning, his life was anything but ordinary. His father, George, was a man lost in the grip of addiction, a shadowy figure who drifted in and out of Ed's childhood. His mother, Augusta, was his constant but not a comforting one. Augusta was deeply religious, with a rigid and unforgiving view of morality. Her presence loomed large over Ed and his brother Harry. She isolated her children from the world, allowing no friendships, no laughter, no freedom. Instead, their days were consumed by sermons and scripture, the walls of their home echoing with stern warnings about sin and damnation. This isolation left its mark on Ed. He grew up withdrawn, detached from the world, a boy living in the shadows of his mother's iron will. But the shadows were only beginning to gather. In 1940, tragedy struck. George, his father, passed away. Not long after, his brother Harry met a mysterious end. And then, in 1945, the unthinkable happened. Augusta, the towering figure in Ed's life, suffered a stroke and died. Ed was left alone in the world, alone and untethered. Grief consumed him, twisting his mind into dark and desperate places. He could not let his mother go, could not bear the silence her absence left behind. And so Ed sought to preserve her memory by any means necessary. Late at night, under the pale light of the moon, Ed roamed graveyards. He unearthed the dead, seeking items, bones, skin, and other macabre artifacts that he believed could bring him closer to his lost mother. What he created in the privacy of his home defied imagination. Human masks crafted from skin, objects fashioned from remains that should have been left to rest. Each item spoke of a mind unraveling, of a man lost in a nightmare of his own making. In 1957, the darkness spilled into the light. A local resident went missing, and suspicions led authorities to Ed Gein's secluded home. What they found inside was beyond anything they could have prepared for. The air inside the house was heavy, suffocating, as they uncovered the horrifying artifacts Ed had made. Masks stared blankly from the walls. Furniture seemed to hum with a sinister energy. The community was rocked to its core. Ed confessed, his voice a mix of regret and detachment. Psychological evaluations painted a grim picture: schizophrenia, profound loneliness, and the scars of a childhood locked in isolation. He was deemed unfit to stand trial and spent the remainder of his life in a psychiatric facility, where he passed away in 1984. But even in death, Ed Gein's story lingered, like a shadow that refuses to fade. It became the stuff of legend, inspiring books, films, and whispered tales of caution. What can we learn from such a chilling tale? Perhaps it is this: that loneliness, neglect, and untreated pain can create monsters of the mind, that we must nurture those around us, offering love and understanding before the shadows grow too deep. And so the tale of Ed Gein reminds us to care for one another before it's too late.